Well, we're back home again after a very nice 4 days of hiking and walking around town in Gatlinburg, and we're low on buns, so I've made the sourdough burger buns, both hoagie rolls and hamburger buns. I've made them, I don't know, maybe 3 times, and they're great. This is like the first sourdough thing with no yeast that's really turned out for me. So I will make 2 batches because a double batch is too much to put in my bread machine. Those are the ingredients. And it's the process that's really crazy here. You pretty much need all day. I think the part that makes it work is that you do just keep sort of folding it, let it rest for 30 minutes, sort of fold it, let it rest again for 30, fold it, rest for 30, fold it, rest for 60, fold it, rest for 60. So yeah, it's you start in the morning, you don't have buns until probably late afternoon. Now, I fed the sourdough starter last night for 100% hydration, and this is a game changer. I read this on the King Arthur site. The 100% hydration is what really makes this work. So I doubled it. So I had a cup of starter, a cup of water, and 2 cups of flour. Let's see what it looks like. And I softened my butter overnight, and now I can't believe it's that soft when the house is about 66 degrees. Oh wow, look at that. Let's stir that down a little bit. This stuff is so cool. So that's what you need. You need a well-fed, very active starter. Look at that stuff. Okay, and this, while I was doing that, see if I can get the lid open here. While I was doing that, I refed my other starter. If you've watched my sourdough video, which I think after my pear jam is probably my most popular video, this is that same old starter, the stuff I had to pour the hooch off of a 1.5 years ago, and now I feed it whenever I need it. And I feed it that same way with 100% hydration. I used to feed equal parts of water and flour, and now I feed with double the flour of the water, and boy, has that made a difference. This is great. All right, now that he's been fed and I let him rest overnight, I will stick him back in the refrigerator until the next time. And this is what we'll work on. I need a cup of this, but this is the stickiest stuff ever. Seriously, really sticky. So I think I'm going to kind of estimate half, because if I get a cup measure in there, it's like quicksand. I might just lose my good cup measure forever. Well, it looks like I got ahead of myself warming up the milk and getting everything ready, because my very first step is, I haven't made this for a month probably, combine the starter, the water, and a cup of the bread flour, and then you let it set for 30 to 60. And I know the other time we went for a walk and I had it setting probably for 2 hours. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter too much. And it calls for 3 cups of bread flour. I do use 1 cup of whole wheat flour. So I will do that now. That's the cup, that's the Montana white wheat that I grind. So let's do that. Starter, water, cup. That's a cup of starter and a 1/4 cup of water and a cup of my wheat flour. I'll have to put my milk back in the refrigerator. Let's mix this up and then let it set for 30 to 60 minutes. I think 60 would be better. Okay, the bread machine didn't do too bad a job of mixing it. Now I just let it go for maybe 45, 60 minutes, and we'll check back and go to the next step. And this is what the sponge looks like after 45 minutes. Over here I have the milk, the butter, and the egg. Let's dump that in. Kind of warmed. You don't want the milk to be too hot. You don't want it to kill anything. Next we add 2 tablespoons of sugar. 1 and... okay, we won't worry about that. And I think 1.5 teaspoons salt. Now I need to add 1.5 cups of bread flour and then mix it. Okay, now I have everything in there, the 1.5 cups of bread flour. We will mix this, see what it looks like, and then add probably another 1/2 cup. This dough needs to be very slack. It doesn't feel at all like the other kind of doughs I've used. Well, it seems to need a little help getting mixed, so I'm just going to push around the edges here. It's like it's really thick in the middle. The edges are still pretty runny. This is pretty good, but it's still just a little too tacky. I'm thinking 2 to 3 more tablespoons. Remember, I put in a 1/2 cup there. Let's see what this does. So to be clear, I ended up adding not 1/2 and not 1, but 3/4 cup of flour, and this is the way I want it. Okay, let's take it over here to the oiled bowl. Normally I always put flour in the bottom of my Tupperware bowl, This calls for oiled, and this worked really, really well. It doesn't stick at all to the bottom. Okay, I have just a little bit of olive oil in there. Let's dump the dough in. Okay, now this is the fun part. I think the first time it's half an hour. I pull, fold over, pull, fold over, and then one more time. Pull and fold over, and then flip it. Okay, and I will let that go for anywhere 30 minutes, and I'll do it again, then another 30 minutes, and do it again, another 30 minutes, and an hour, and then another hour. So what is that there? 3.5 hours until we actually get to make buns out of this. And just so there's no misunderstanding, we don't leave it like this for half an hour. We literally put a lid on it, a nice tight lid, and then we wait. After the first half hour, I think it's been more like 45 minutes for this one. This is what we have. And so then we just take it, pull it from all four sides, flip it over, let it go for another half hour, and then do the same thing, only we let it rest for an hour. Take that, flip it. It's getting to be beautiful. I have the other one over here too. Same thing, pull it, stretch it, fold it. Get the idea? Stuff is fun to work with, I tell you. This is really nice. Back from a walk, so instead of an hour, it's been, oh goodness, look at that. It's been more like, I don't know, hour and a half, 2 hours. But they're beautiful. Okay. It said 8 pieces. 8 pieces was way too big. You could weigh them out if you wanted it 3 ounces. I will do 10 to 12. Let me dump this out on here. See, when you oil it, it comes out really clean. Good. I'll get a knife out and cut this into pieces. There we go. No yeast at all. It's just sourdough. I have 2 batches of dough, so I'm going to make the first one into hoagies, subs, whatever you call them. I'm thinking 10, maybe 12. Maybe 12, let's see. There's one. Let's see what these 2 look like. So take a piece of dough like this. I think I need a little bit more flour. See how nice that is? It's very stretchy, very elastic. Press it down. Use the heel of my hand like this. They're not going to be real even. That's okay. There we go. There's one. Same thing. Press it down. Pinch it. Roll a little bit. You can taper the ends if you want to. And there we have another one. Okay, I'll do the rest of these. And then I have another batch of dough over there to use as hamburger buns. Let's get okay, this time hamburger buns. Process is just a little bit different. You take the same amount of dough pretty much and just roll it into a ball. Pretty much like that. And then once I get them all on there, I'm going to, I don't want to flatten them down pretty good. I want hamburger buns. I don't want great big puffy rolls. Alright, that ended up making not 6 but 7. You can see that. And there is pretty much just no good way of getting 7 on there evenly. So I took a piece of a bread sack that I cut, oiled it a little bit. These need to be flattened. Again, since they're hamburger buns. You either flatten them with your hands like this. You can use a rolling pin. No, and roll them. I like to just use a heavy pan, a heavy cast iron skillet, and just kind of flatten them that way. Yeah, something like that. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, I'm gonna get too carried away here. So there. Yeah, they can be flattened a little bit more than that yet. And then I'll cover them with tea towel and let them rise until they're doubled. Okay, let's check how we're doing here. And yeah, those look doubled in size. Not quite. Maybe another. That one looks ready. Well, I'll preheat the oven. By the time the oven is hot, I'd say they should be ready. The oven is at 389 degrees, and it looks like these hoagie buns have doubled in size, and they are ready to get baked. And here's how the first batch turned out. It actually took 17 minutes. I'm not sure why it says 10 to 15, unless they're a lot smaller or the oven runs a lot hotter. Oh, speaking of hot, these are hot. They're nice and light. So again, no yeast, only sourdough. I ate one, Stan ate one, both the round ones I think. And now, this is the rest of them. This one turned out super sized. In fact, I think these are pretty mini, more like slider buns. So maybe next time for the hamburger buns, I do want to make 10 and not 12. Yeah, just watch that butter melt on there. Look at that. I devoured the first half in 15 seconds. We'll try to savor this one a little bit more. I mean, I had to eat this, right? It didn't come out even. We had 7. So, I don't feel bad about this at all. There we go. All right.